Vladimir Putin is a man feared by the entire world, and his family is one of the most mysterious and secretive aspects of Russia. But one day, an event occurred that completely changed everything. Only one man had incredibly bad luck that day, and within a few hours, he became the most miserable person in the country. But what mistake did he make? How did he become so unexpectedly involved with Putin's son? What happened to him afterward? And most importantly, where did he disappear to? Watch the video until the end, because the conclusion of this story will completely surprise you. Let's begin. This is the story of a man who, due to his foolishness and a series of fatal events, lost everything. His name was Matvey Urin. At the age of 3, he was a successful banker at the peak of his career, owning 6 Russian banks. Then everything collapsed. The story begins on a beautiful Sunday evening in November 2010. Matvey was driving his luxurious Mercedes to a restaurant, accompanied by his personal bodyguards. But on the road ahead of his convoy, a modest BMW appeared, and according to Urin, its driver showed him no respect, refusing to yield the right-of-way, despite his continuously flashing lights. For a successful banker, this was unbelievable. How could anyone refuse passage to such an influential man? Urin ordered his security team, who were following him, to deal with the rude driver. The guards responded immediately, blocking the path of his BMW and forcing it to stop. Several burly men carrying baseball bats approached the car and demanded the driver get out. He refused, so the guards smashed the driver's window and forcibly dragged him out. They beat him and smashed all the car's windows and mirrors. After dealing with the driver, Urin and his security team calmly headed to the restaurant. The banker was satisfied with himself. He had shown who was in charge. But it turned out that the defeated driver was no ordinary person, and Urin soon discovered this, regretting everything. Jorrit Wasson, a Dutch citizen born in 1980, is an architect by training from a modest family. At first glance, he seems like an ordinary man, but he had one connection that cost Urin everything. In the mid-2000s, he moved to Moscow, where he met Maria Vorontsova, the eldest daughter of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Their marriage remained a secret for a long time, but an investigation by the New Times confirmed that Maria married Vas and took his surname. In 2012, she gave birth to their son, Putin's grandson. In Russia, the unassuming Dutch architect, Jorrit, quickly built a successful career. He held a senior position at Gazprom Bank and then became vice president of one of its subsidiaries, one of the world's largest oil and gas companies. This same man, who later became the president of Russia, was attacked in a Moscow street. But what happened next was that Wasson didn't go to the police. He called his wife, Maria, and told her the license plate numbers of the attackers' cars. Just one phone call, and Wasson's life changed forever. An hour later, the banker's convoy was stopped. The operation was led by Vladimir Kolokoltsev, then Moscow's police chief. He approached Wasson and said, "Now you will remember the man you attacked an hour ago for the rest of your life." The banker was shocked that the Moscow police chief himself had come to arrest him. Incidentally, for Kolokoltsev, as for Mavi Wasson, this moment was a turning point. A year later, he became the country's Minister of the Interior, a position he still holds today. Urin was taken to Levertovo prison, known for its extremely strict regime, and that's when the nightmare began. Criminal cases started piling up, one after another. The first charge was rioting with weapons, committed by a group of people, but by the time the case reached the court, several other charges had been added. 5 of his bodyguards were also charged. Orrin was declared the organizer of a criminal gang, but this was just the beginning. The real nightmare awaited him. The court sentenced him to 3 years in prison, while his bodyguards received sentences ranging from 2 to 4 years. But the worst part was that Orrin and his bodyguards hadn't realized all this time that they had assaulted Putin's son-in-law. They suspected that Vashin wasn't an ordinary man, and that he might be related to someone in the Federal Security Service, FSB, but they didn't grasp the magnitude of their mistake. When the truth came out, it was too late. And that wasn't the end of the story. With his sentence, Orrin could have hoped for early release in just 2 years, and that wasn't the end of it. For a man with money and connections, under different circumstances, he could have easily paid his way out, made a deal, and walked free even before that. But the prosecutor considered the sentence too lenient, so the court accepted his appeal after reviewing the case. The term was increased to 4.5 years in a